Well, hi, my name is Paul Renner. I live in Big Fork, Montana. I got very, very ill. In fact, my doctor told me I was going to die, and I asked her how many years I had. She looked at her watch, and implying that death was imminent. So I had a lot of problems: congestive heart failure, high pulmonary pressure, diabetic, high blood pressure, on and on and on, everything but cancer. And after that pronouncement, I didn't feel like I was going to die, so I reached out into my community and asked for help, and was referred to a woman, Jeanette Cheney, who was educated as a health educator at Hippocrates Institute, a world-famous holistic healing facility in West Palm Beach, Florida. And she taught me nutrition and how to eat and holistic living, also known as a living foods lifestyle, which included not only nutrition and exercise, but mental, physical, spiritual, and holistic living practices. And in a remarkably short period of time, we're talking months, I went from being on my deathbed to being fully functional as a human being. And in 4 weeks, I lost 40 pounds. I started out morbidly obese at over 400 pounds. Today, I'm 230 pounds. More importantly, I got off 6 of 14 prescription medications that I was taking. This went from April to June. By December of 2007, I was lost 100 pounds and off all my medications. Went from 120 units of insulin a day to no insulin. I've been insulin-free and medication-free. My congestive heart failure completely reversed itself. Something the doctor said would never happen. My diabetes is completely gone and has remained gone for this whole period of time. My high pulmonary pressure is completely gone. My blood pressure is low normal, and all systems are operationally and functionally within the normal guidelines. And so I began to investigate the effects of nutrition on health, and also equally important, the effects of taking care of your emotional and spiritual self as well as your physical self. And in doing that, I went to the Tree of Life in Patagonia, Arizona, and met Gabriel Cousins and learned about his program for holistic living and healing. And while I was there, I realized that they were growing all of their own food there, and in particular, they had these geodesic dome structures. And I walked into one, and it was truly a magical spiritual moment for me. When I walked into that building, I knew that I was in a sacred place, and I knew also at that instant that I was going to have one in my community, on my property, so that I could share it with my friends and neighbors and promote the kind of living that turned me from my deathbed into a fully functional member of the human race. A lot of people ask me about my obvious extensive training in gardening, and the fact of the matter is I never did any gardening before I decided to acquire the dome and start the community garden. But the centerpiece of Peaceful Gardens, which is our operation, is this 51-foot geodesic dome, and it performs remarkably well even when it's 20 below outside. The two big ponds inside never go below 50 degrees in temperature and radiate heat along with the beds. It's a beautiful passive solar structure. We've learned how to create a living food soil web filled with microbes, beneficial fungi, and insects and worms that are all necessary for the proper nutrition to produce plants loaded with minerals and vitamins that contribute to our well-being. And we now teach people in our community how to grow organically and naturally, and we also teach nutrition as it relates to improving health. Sharing it with my community members, which is probably the most rewarding facet of this whole operation, is that we have a whole group of people now in my community that are actively involved in this process, and people that are learning every week how to do it for themselves at home as well. So.